Hello guys, my name is TheRussianBadger and welcome to my guide for the crossbow that actually has the correct information. And the reason that I say that is because nearly every single one of the other crossbow guides that I have seen on YouTube, including the one that was recently uploaded by LevelCap, contains incorrect statistics about the crossbow. Like the mathematics are literally wrong. Every statistic and numerical piece of information in this video has not only been mathematically calculated and verified using the game's code and Excel, but I've also confirmed these numbers by testing them in the game. So what I'm trying to say is, you can trust this crossbow guide to give you the correct statistics, while the others may let you down. And I'll go in depth about each aspect of the crossbow in the new expansion pack of Aftermath, including the crossbow itself, the different types of bolts, how the crossbow damages vehicles, how to unlock everything, and even some fun topics such as, I don't know, how many enemies can a crossbow possibly collateral with one shot, one bolt. That's something that really interests me. But without further ado, allow me to start by clarifying exactly how you get a hold of a crossbow. In order to unlock the regular crossbow, or the one without the gigantic scope, you must complete the assignment called Sticks and Stones. All you gotta do for this one is win 3 rounds of Scavenger. That is extremely easy, so easy a caveman could do it. But in order to get the crossbow that has the really large scope on the top, you have to complete the assignment called Go Play Close Quarters. All you have to do for this one is get a total of 150 meters of headshots with sniper rifles, 150 meters of headshots with assault rifles, and yet again, 150 meters of headshots with carbines. Now, don't misunderstand me, alright? You don't have to sit on the deck of an aircraft carrier with a sniper rifle or an AR or a carbine to get this. You don't have to get a single 150 meter headshot with each of these weapons. You just need to get a bunch of headshots, and their collective distance must add up to 150 meters. I mean, if you really want to bipod up and sip some camp sauce on Gulf of Oman on an aircraft carrier, be my guest, but there are easier ways to do it. It's a lot better just to get collectively lots of headshots from, 10 meters, 15 meters, and so forth. It's easier to do it that way. So now that we have covered how you get the crossbow, let's talk about the part that everyone else got wrong, the body part multipliers. Okay, if you look at DJ ahead of me, there are 4 possible regions of his body where I can shoot him, dealing different damage to each region. In this case, I'll be using the balance bolt as an example, but the bolt doesn't matter in terms of multipliers. The normal bolt and the balance bolt have the same body part multipliers, but they differ in how much base damage they do. I'll get to that later, but okay. If I shoot DJ in the legs, there is a 0.9 multiplier. If I shoot DJ in the belly region or in the arms, there's a 1.0 multiplier dealing base damage. If I shoot DJ in the upper chest, however, there's a 1.25 damage multiplier. This is something that everyone else got wrong and failed to mention. This is the statistic that makes many other guides, such as level caps, null and void and wrong, but I'll elaborate on that later. And finally, if I shoot DJ in the head, or the face, or the dome piece, he will obviously die because there is a 2.0 multiplier to the head. Now moving on to the specific bolt types, let's start off with the normal bolt. The normal bolt of the crossbow has a maximum damage of 100 and a minimum damage of 60, with a drop-off start at 20 meters and a drop-off stop at 50 meters. This drop-off start means the distance where the bolt starts to decrease from dealing maximum damage down to dealing minimum damage, and drop-off stop is where the bolt actually reaches its minimum damage and the damage doesn't go any lower with added distance. It also has a velocity value of 100 and a gravity value of negative 9.81, and I know you're like, Badger, that don't make no sense. I don't know those values. Okay, I will get into velocity and gravity a little bit later on. So essentially what that means is this. With the normal bolt, if you hit someone in the legs, it will not kill them in one shot, no matter the distance. It doesn't matter how close or how far away you are, you will not one-shot kill them. If you hit them in the belly or the arms with a normal bolt, it will kill them in one shot if you are 20 meters or closer. Anything outside 20 meters, if you hit them in the belly or their arms, you will need 2 shots to kill them. If you hit them in the upper chest with the normal bolt, you will one-hit kill them at any range within 35 meters. And yet again, this is where so many of the other guides got it wrong and just they don't even know that this exists. They didn't even mention this. The reason that you will one-shot kill someone at 35 meters with the normal bolt without getting a headshot is because of the 1.25 damage multiplier to the upper chest that for some reason nobody includes in their guides. And of course, if you hit someone in the head, or the dome piece, or the face with a normal bolt, regardless of distance, you will one-shot kill them. And hopefully now, you're starting to see where the other guides were incorrect in their information. You see how they were sort of flawed? So in a nutshell, the normal bolt is great because in close quarters, it will one-hit kill enemies if you hit them in the head, upper chest, belly, or arms. So you've got a really big target to hit. The downside to the normal bolt is that it doesn't have the range that the balance bolt does. It doesn't fly as fast as the balance bolt does, and it suffers about 5 times more drop-off from gravity compared to the balance bolt. Just to take a look at the difference with the balance bolt, you don't really, you really don't need to aim above the guy's head very much with the balance bolt, if at all. You don't really even need to put it, I mean, there's going to be some cases where you might need to put it slightly above his head, but look at the normal bolt. You have to aim way above the guy's noggin. That's a real difference. Like, that's the real difference that gravity makes between these two bolts. And I don't know how DICE thinks that two different physical objects are so drastically affected in different ways in terms of gravity, but what do I know? I'm not like a physicist or anything. So moving on to the most noteworthy comparison, next up is the balanced bolt. In order to unlock the balanced bolt, you must first complete 2 assignments. The first assignment is called This Is My Boomstick. All you have to do for this one is get 50 carbine kills and 50 assault rifle kills. The next assignment in order to unlock the balanced bolt is called Stay Away From My Tent. I think they're referring to campers or something. So for this one, you'll need to get 50 kills with sniper rifles and 10 headshot kills with your sidearm. So basically, this is what you're going to do. You should just run around 1,000 ticket canals TDM with an M417 and dunk everybody while simultaneously popping enemies in the dome piece with your Rex. That's about it. Running around getting kills with the M417 and hitting people in the face with your Rex. That's about how you want to unlock this. So once you're done with those 2 assignments, you will have the balanced bolt. The balanced bolt has a maximum damage of 80 and a minimum damage of 50 with a drop-off start at 20 meters and a drop-off stop at 100 meters. It also has a velocity value of 150 and a gravity value of -2. And yet again, I will get to that later on while discussing, okay? If you hit the guy in the legs, you will not one-shot kill him with a balanced bolt, regardless of distance. If you shoot the guy in the belly or the arms with a balanced bolt, you will not one-shot kill him, regardless of distance. If you shoot him in the upper chest, however, you will one-shot kill him at any range within 20 meters. And of course, the balanced bolt will one-shot kill an enemy if it hits the guy in the head or the dome piece from any range, no matter how far away you are. So, okay, let that sink in. You can one-shot people with the balanced bolt without getting a headshot. You just have to hit them in the upper chest and be closer or equal to 20 meters. Hopefully this is one piece of information that sets your head straight in terms of all of the other guides confusing you with the wrong information. So to reiterate, the balanced bolt will one-hit kill an enemy with either a headshot from any range or an upper chest shot within 20 meters. Oh god, my sides. This feels so good telling you the correct information that is not completely flawed, okay? But anyways, here is the balanced bolt in a nutshell. The balanced bolt flies about 50% faster than the normal bolt in terms of velocity. The bolt drop-off is also much slower, and allow me to show you that comparison again. Okay, look at this. You see at about 50 to 60 meters, the normal bolt requires you to aim way above the guy's head, where the balanced bolt, you can pretty well aim right at his head or just slightly above it. And this is because the normal bolt suffers about 5 times the drop-off from gravity compared to the balanced bolt, so it drops off 5 times as fast, and the damage of the balanced bolt also drops off at a much slower rate compared to the normal bolt. Yet again, that's just another attribute that makes it really so much better at range. And the major downside to the balanced bolt is that in close quarters, you have to hit the guy obviously in the face or the upper chest to one-shot kill him. Otherwise, you are boned. Like, you guys all know the reality with the crossbow. If you're going to reload it, you're going to die most of the time. Unless he's, like, in a different land or he's not even minutely paying attention to you, you will usually not have time to reload your crossbow and get a second shot off if the guy's looking at you. So essentially, in the close quarter situations, you have a smaller one-hit kill target zone with the balanced bolt compared to the normal bolt. So the normal bolt will always have, or basically the normal bolt will always be easier to get one-hit kills with in close quarters because you can hit more regions of the body and deal 100 damage. Basically, that's what it means. But that's about it in terms of comparing the normal and balanced bolt. Probably the most difficult decision in terms of all the crossbow bolts. That's probably what you wanted, why you came to this video in the first place. But moving on, the next bolt is called the scan bolt. In order to unlock the scan bolt, you must complete the assignment called It Is Okay to Thank Me. All you gotta do is get 20 spot assists, as in you spot someone and one of your teammates shoots them in the face, designate 10 vehicles, which is really not all that hard with a softloom, and finally, you must get one designated assist. So for example, what I did is I just designated a chopper with my softloom and my buddy Mr. Cent locked on with the javelin and made them into a pinata. So once you have it unlocked, you will quickly learn that this thing's so unique, but that's basically how you unlock it. The scan bolt has a base damage of 10, a velocity value of 150, and a gravity value of negative 9.81. So the velocity is the same as the balance bolt, and the drop-off rate from gravity is the same as the normal bolt. Now, what this bolt does is it instantly spots enemies within a 12-meter radius. It's not like a tugs or another recon equipment where it spots the enemies or the enemy as long as it's in the area and it's not destroyed yet. It's like a one-time spotting feature. It's not permanent like other recon equipment is. Now, I could talk about the damage values for this thing if you really wanted, but it's morbid. Like, the scan bolt does not adhere to the damage multipliers like the other bolts do. For example, a headshot within 20 meters with this thing will for some reason deal about 24 damage. In the upper chest, it will do about 13 to 14 damage. The belly of the arms will deal about 10 damage, and the legs will deal about 9 to 10 damage. But really, the damage of this thing does not matter. It does not matter. I mean, if you realistically try to kill someone with a scan bolt, this is what's going to happen. Okay, let me put it to you this way. You'll get instantly dunked on like Tyrone Muggsy in the 80s. That's what's going to happen, like every single time. Seriously, like the damage of this thing is really not important. Just take out your knife, Carl. Just take out your knife, put away your crossbow, put away your scan bolt, take out your knife, and either stab yourself or stab the other guy. It doesn't really matter to me, Carl, whatever. And finally, we have the last bolt for the crossbow. One that we can actually discuss that's not sort of irrelevant like the scan bolt, which is called the high explosive or high explosive bolt. Now, I know at this point you probably think, Badger, you catfish. You're not even a good demo man. Well, go ahead. Ask me the question. I know you want to ask me the question, so go ahead. Ask me the question. I dare you.
What makes me a good demo man? If I were a bad demo man, I wouldn't be sitting here discussing it with you now, would I?
Exactly. I wouldn't be sitting here discussing it with you now, would I? So, coincidentally, how you unlock the high explosive bolt, or HE bolt, for the crossbow is you go through an assignment called a good demo man. For this one, it's pretty simple. All you have to get is 5 kills with hand grenades, 5 kills with underslung grenades, and get 5 kills with C4. Yet again, with the number 5, I've got 5 words for you. Operation Metro, here I come. That's how you're going to complete the assignment. It's so easy. Go to Metro, 64 players, 1,000 ticket, 1 trillion tickets, doesn't matter to me, and you will have it unlocked very, very quickly. The explosive bolt has a base damage of 200 on impact and a splash damage of 112. It also has a velocity of 45, a gravity value of negative 11, and a blast radius drop-off start at 0.2 meters, and a blast radius drop-off end at 0.5 meters. I know, yet again, Badger, what that mean? Okay. That essentially means that if you direct impact someone, regardless of range, you will one-shot them. You can also kill them in one shot without direct impacting them, but you have to be pretty darn close to hitting them for splash damage to actually one-shot them. And because this thing is so unique, I really enjoy running around and just one-shotting people at close range because it's really rewarding and the explosives make them flail around a lot. But this is probably what you're wanting to hear about, the damage against vehicles. So DJ and I tested out pretty well all the vehicles except the skid loader, because who the hell in their right mind would want to blow up an innocent little skid loader? You monster. And as a general rule, it's not very, like, basically, okay, if it's not a heavily armored vehicle, the explosive bolt will disable it in one shot, but not destroy it. You know, if a vehicle is full health, an explosive bolt will never one-shot kill it, like an RPG or a small will. Okay, so against a scout helicopter, it deals around 91% damage, meaning that as soon as you hit it with an explosive bolt, it's disabled, and the same goes for the attack helicopter. Like, as soon as you hit it, it deals around 91% damage, and the chopper is left with 9% vehicle health and is disabled. A jet's pretty similar to that as well. Although I got some variation in testing, pretty much every time I hit the jet, dealt between 90 to 92 damage, leaving the jet disabled and at about 8 to 10% health in the vehicle remaining. And the transport helicopters tend to be a little bit meatier, you know, like, I'll butter your bread. They're a little bit tougher, so when you hit one, like when you hit one high explosive bolt on a transport helicopter, it deals about 61% damage, and it leaves it at around 39% vehicle health remaining, and obviously a second shot will polish it off, destroying it completely. So this reoccurring pattern of disabling the vehicle, but not one-shot killing it, stayed pretty much constant with the exception of tanks. For example, if you hit a boat or a buggy or a regular transport vehicle, it will disable the vehicle, but it will not instantly blow up or explode. This is different for tanks. Now, the damage that you deal to a tank with the high explosive bolt is a lot like it. Let me say it this way. The damages are not the same compared to the small in the RPG, but the way that they actually are factored is the same. As in, like this. If you hit a tank while you are perpendicular with a high explosive bolt, you will deal more damage than if you hit it at an angle. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. And these are all damage values while standing perpendicular to the tank. Directly in front of the tank, the front bolt, they vary a little bit, but it's basically around 9 to 10 damage. To the sides, either to the left or the right, it will deal about 18 damage. And in dead ass, or the back part, it will deal about 28 damage. Now in terms of the LAV and the BTR 90, it dealt around 24 to 25 damage, but it was weird because it dealt the same damage no matter where it hit on the sides, front, or rear, which struck me as kind of odd, but that's just what happened. Now, this is obviously not a complete list of vehicles, so what I want to say to you about the explosive bolt is this. It's not as effective for blowing up vehicles like a SMAW or an RPG is, but it's really convenient to have, especially around lightly armored vehicles when you're playing a class other than engineer and carrying a crossbow. But that's about it for the bolts. Now it's time for the really important questions, like how many people can one single crossbow bolt possibly collateral? This is going to be awesome. Okay, so I tested it with the help of many of you guys, and apparently it's a really high number that, I don't know. Now, in the first round of testing, I got 7 in a row, which seems to be quite a bit of meat for one single crossbow bolt to go through. Just like, that seems not legit at all, DICE. Like, what are you doing? DICE, stop. But the second time, it went through 8 people, so I think it's fair to say that it will go through many, many, many meters and chunks of meat and people. I'm not sure if there's a maximum, but I don't think you would ever feasibly get more than 8 people with a single crossbow bolt in a public game. Here I was just testing, but realistically getting that in a game doesn't seem really feasible. But you know what? That's about it, guys. I feel much better that I've set the record straight in terms of what the correct stats are and how the XBOW or the crossbow actually... I almost said Xbox. That Xbox. Oh god, the Xbox. But I'm very glad that I gave you guys the correct stats and I set the record straight in terms of how the crossbow actually handles and behaves. I got the stats right. Okay, so I want to thank my buddy DJ especially for helping me out. He really helped me out in terms of testing a lot of these values, making sure the multipliers were correct and so forth. And I want to thank all of you that joined me in that unranked server to confirm my statistics and math work. I wanted to make sure I went over it over and over again to make sure that it was right and then I wasn't wrong. But thanks a lot to DJ. I will leave a link to his channel in the description. He's like one of the top 10 tank drivers in the entire world. That's kind of a side note, but I'll leave a link to DJ in the description. Thanks for all you guys that joined that random empty server and helped me out with the stats. And that's about it. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Auf Wiedersehen und bis bald und later.